Hello. Okay, I realized
Hi.
I'm mute. I had to
I
go
was going to
fill up
tell
the
you.
water real quick. Hi. Okay, we have people on here.
Yeah.
Let me put on here. Hello. We'll see if people are trickling in. We have Autumn. Hi, Autumn. I was just chatting with them about how fast she's reading everything. Amazing. Reading recipe for Mr. Banksy. I don't think I've have you heard of that one?
No.
Yeah.
What is that?
Secretly Yours, chapter 9. Look at all these books that Amal is reading. Oh my gosh. I thought I juggled a lot of books. e-reading, True North, 15% in. Hi, Tangible. Let me see. Make sure I don't miss one on here. Okay, we're letting people trickle in. Hopefully, some people make it on here. I think it's more like GMT friendly. So we have Patricia here as well. What have you been reading? How's it going?
So school has started for me as well, for the kids. So it's been a
Nice.
tough week. And I still have my arc, which I simply forgot the name. Fantastic, huh? And I'm listening to a Stacy Reid, the Wolf one. I'll pick everything. I'll
I keep
prepare
hearing
everything.
about I keep hearing about Stacy Reid and like how many people love Stacy Reid. I'm gonna have to try a book.
Yeah, it's the wolf and the wildflower. So she's pretending she's a man in order to, well, because her father was not very keen on having a girl.
Mm.
And then she used that opportunity to have education. So now she is the psychologist of certain duke that sees through her.
Oh, that sounds very unethical, but I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, but
Let me
it's
see.
been fun.
Hi,
It's very
Tim.
intense.
So Tara's
So
here, and she said, "Hope you are liking the wolf and the wildflower."
I am. I am. I thought it would be a bit too over the top, but I'm really enjoying because this is intense. So yeah, I really am enjoying.
Nice. Yeah,
And
because
the
you're
arc,
more of a fantasy reader,
yeah,
too.
and the arc I'm reading is "Feathers from the Sky" by Jess Weisskopf, and it's a paranormal. And
Ooh.
I am not always in a paranormal urban mood.
Oh, and it's urban.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
not
that's
not
sometimes.
not always into it. And with the school starting, I've been quite slow on reading it, so I need to finish this week
Nice.
because the reason I'm listening to Stacy Reid is because I have an arc from her that April really liked it, so I want to get to it,
Nice.
and
What
then
do you honestly?
will be two books with BIPOC authors.
So trying to finish Belladonna. I hope you're liking it. I really liked it, and I thought it was pretty fast pace. But I know you're like physically reading that one, and to sit down and physically read can be really hard sometimes. To make some time when you have like a lot going on. And then the reading slump. I know I was just talking to Patricia about this, that I wonder if some of us are a little tired as we do this month-long readathon, and to take, just reminders to take breaks and like enjoy what you're reading, read at your pace, all that good stuff, because you don't want to burn yourself out during
Yeah,
this.
there's a
And
lot of people stopping with the historical romances to switch to something else because they're getting
yeah,
burned down.
I mean, even I stopped a little bit with long format books. So I'm currently reading a novella, and it's actually the I Am Legend. So it's sci-fi horror type of thing, like from the movie
Hmm.
I Am Legend. So I'm reading that one, and that's a short, very short, like novella. I think it's like 200 pages or like 150 or something. So that's been nice. So that's probably what I'll be reading tonight because I'm hooked, and that's been pretty good. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Okay.
juggling a few others as well. I'm being hooked by the Vlad Kahani. I can't say his name properly, but his historicals are something else. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
putting him in between because I'm
That's a
really
lot.
loving it.
Yes. So we'll definitely have sprints tonight. And then I made this like game. I hope it works. Okay. I just thought it
I'm
would be
sure you will.
fun to make your own story. So I made these slides where you're going to basically pick your romance novel title and your romance novel character using like your initials and stuff. And then you get to pick like what route you want your character to go through. It's just like silly little graphics and stuff, and it'll be like the same as last time where you pick the number 1 or 2 because there will be like 2 options. But I just think it's always fun to like make your own little story. I don't know. I feel like a lot of readers are also secretly like aspiring authors. I would like to be. I don't know. Do you ever think about being an author?
No,
No.
no, no. I maybe when I was younger, definitely. But I'm really a logical STEM
Mhm.
person. And on top of it, grammar and me, we don't get along. So imagine me writing a book would take me ages. But I
No.
really love a good storytelling, and I always have a story of my own as well. But to put it into a structured composition, it will take me too long. Never say never, but not
I know it
now.
takes
And
time.
you?
I would love to one day. I don't know. I feel like I'm just thinking of so many concepts, which I hear a lot of like published authors say like you have a lot of ideas and you just got to form them or figure out what you're trying to say over time. But that would be really cool, you know? And then I can cry when things happen and reviews happen and, and hopefully break
Mhm.
readers' hearts because I love books that just destroy me. So I'm like, let me destroy someone's heart too, you know, in the best way possible.
In the best way possible, yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Be off my
I love
lawn.
I
Uh-huh.
love when the authors just lay down. Some of them say that they lay down the plot on the table,
Hmm.
and then once everything is all sorted out, especially we that read fantasy, we like everything to match, to make sense, to
Yes.
and it's so interesting how they do it and then put that in a way that entices you to read.
Hmm. It's so good. This book that Tara talked about, I actually heard Mama Needs to Read Romance, so B, I think, talk about this. Get the Off My Lawn. Which is it just sounds so funny. Like some of these titles, I was torn between like a put your like story together or like, hey, is this title a real title or is it fake? Because some of these titles, I'm like, no way, this is a real book title. This sounds so funny.
Is that rom-com?
I don't know, Tara. Is it rom com? Get the Off My Lawn. And then about the authors, I would be scared to put myself out there as an author, not for me. I know. I think in general, like, I mean, you're on BookTube too, and I think in general, putting yourself out there like that can be scary, especially in
Yeah,
today's like age where things. It's almost like, can you grow from this? Can you change your mind later? Or is the internet going to be like, no, this is who you are forever? It can be scary, but it also
yeah,
sounds really fun.
yeah. I always try to support authors that when they reach me to, when authors reach you to read their book, I always try to be as nice as possible because you're really putting yourself, you're exposing yourself so
Hmm.
much, and I think they're quite brave by doing that. I always try to make them see that I really appreciate
Their work.
their
Yeah,
work and the effort they're doing to market their own book.
yeah. It can definitely feel, like, personal too with a book. Like, I appreciate it. I'm also like, "Hey, I'll be very honest, though," if about the book, because I also think, like, if you don't like the book, it's okay. You know, like I think if I wrote something, I would rather someone tell me like, hey, your pacing needs work, or it's not my favorite thing, so I can like write better. Then, you know, and obviously there's a difference between like hating on someone's work and being like, you're stupid, you're terrible. Like
Yeah,
I don't do
yeah,
those things
constructive or
ever.
not. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I'm never in a situation where I can change someone's work. I don't have the interest to do that. So
yes,
I
the proofing.
always am the receiver of the arc, even when I'm very close to the author. So I never go in with that intention of criticizing, in a constructive way.
Mhm.
But you really need to pick someone that you can trust, that can give you good
Mhm.
feedback when you're
Like your
working
beta
ethically.
readers and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Again, I so appreciate author. It's definitely a skill, definitely hard work. And
yeah,
Tara's like, Get the Off My Lawn is a historical romance, but it has some laugh out loud moments. Yeah, I was pretty sure it had some funny moments. I just don't remember B saying like it's actually rom com. You know, that's why I wasn't sure.
yeah. It
It's
sounded.
fun. Um, do you want to start off with like part of the game and then we do a sprint? I don't know.
Yeah,
You feeling, what is everyone thinking? I know because I was also like, okay, the game could be a good break if people are like, I'm a little tired of reading right now, or I just want to hang out a little bit with like other reading people. We can do that. So we'll switch it.
we can also start with the game to get a bit excited and go into reading a bit happy.
I know.
We
I
can
hope
also
I
do that.
remember some of these slides. Let me slide us over. Okay, so I have a build your story, like I said, and let me know if some of this is hard to read or something, and will like disappear for like a little bit or something. I try to make them as big as possible, but we're gonna build our story, and we're gonna start with your romance novel name. So your last name starts with whatever your last name is gonna be. Your last initial is gonna be your first name. So in my case, my last name starts with a G. So my first romance novel name will be Gracie, according to this chart. And then your first name initial is going to be your last name, according to this chart. So, like, let us know, and if you're participating, hopefully you are, in the comments, like what your character's name is, so you can follow along. I see
All
Patricia's
right,
getting a pencil
I am.
paper.
Because
So, all
so
right,
your last name will start with, so in your
Gracie.
romance name, first name, so I am angelic.
Ooh.
I'm an angelic pop.
Pop. Angelic Pop. Oh my gosh. Mine
Sounds
would
right.
be Gracie Jack. Yours is great though. It's literally like saying like you have a pop of like angelicness or something. Lulu Ample. What a name. Ample. Dakota Ample. Okay, we have A's in here. We have a lot of A's. Dakota Ample is a good one too. So I didn't even put this up. So we got a Lulu Ample. We got a Dakota Ample. And if for some reason you can't read one, let me know. But some of these are like fun, like the name Sandra or Quick. I can't imagine someone's last name being Quick in this situation, or Fuzzy. Look at this. I haven't even seen all these names. So this chart I didn't make. Sorry, I have to say that. I didn't make this one. I found it, but I couldn't see, like no one left a signature on it. So I would totally credit them if it had the signature, but it didn't. It was just some random Google search because I didn't have time to make all that crazy chart. Gracie 2. Is your last name 2 or is your last name? Oh, yeah, it is 2. Not like also Gracie. Okay.
Gracie.
And then we have Angelique Savannah Q. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay. And then the next one, you're going to pick your romance novel title. So if I need to go back for some reason, because maybe some people are like, oh, let's go back. But I think we have a small crowd today. So I'll move on. So this is going to be the name of your novel. So this is what the name of, your characters go through. So use your first name, initial, and your last. So mine would be like Forever Bride. Oh.
Okay, I like mine.
What is yours?
I'm Toxic Heart.
Oh, it reminds me of your magazine you made. So your Angelique Pop in your novel is Toxic Heart. That's so good.
Ready to destroy with my angelic popness.
Yeah. B Smile. Why B? Is it? I think it's broken. Broken Smile. B Smile. Is there B on here? Bed Smile. There you go. Red. Maybe it's red. Red Smile. Yes. I was like, maybe there is a bed. You never know.
All right, but Bed Smile sounds nice too.
Yeah, I think it's Red Smile. So that's better. At least you're like, this hottie that puts on red lipstick and or something.
Kind Bride.
Stolen Hug.
Stolen Hug.
Sounds very YA. Yeah.
It's very
like
cute.
Really YA. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Kind Bride. Aw, Tara. Yours is Gracie too, the Kind Bride.
Yeah. You start as a kind bride and you show your true colors.
Who knows? Maybe you're attacking the kind bride. Maybe you're like, kind bride needs to get out. You don't know. Pure Smile.
Pure Smile.
Nice. Some of these sound very like rom-com. Some of these sound very like angsty. Like I think Forever Bride would be kind of angsty, or like yours with Toxic Heart. Also angsty. Okay.
A bit dark.
Probably, if it's toxic. Either you're toxic or your love interest is toxic or whatever. Okay. So the first part is you need to decide, is your character more like high end? Like are they going to be like a princess, a royalty, or do you want them to come from humble beginnings, or kind of like what I'm reading right now is our characters in a monastery training to be an assassin. So that would be the second option, for example. So which one is your character going to go through? Like high end, like rich, princess, duchess, something like that? Or are you going to go the second route?
I'm going to go for the second.
The second?
I'm always going to go for the difficult path.
You're like, it's harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Violet. It's okay. If you're just trickling in, it's a build your story. So we just got like the name of our characters, and we can do this again in the second part if more people come in, because I'll show you the first half of the slides now. And then we picked the name of our novel. So now we're picking like the course of our character. So I see twos. I see a lot of humble beginnings. I think the most fancy thing about this house is the giant mushroom on the side. I randomly put there.
But I think my name, Toxic Heart, should come from one, because then it's all about politics and toxicity and
maybe. I mean, you could be a royal and be like, I have a toxic.
I know, but I can't resist the second. I can't.
Yes, I think I would pick the second one too, because I'm really enjoying the other one I'm reading, which is Grave Mercy. And it is this daughter that was chosen by death, and she's learning how to basically kill off men that have done horrible things to society and women. And I'm like, that monastery sounds so badass. So I think I don't know, my character, Gracie Jack. You look scared, Patricia.
No, I'm liking it. It's like, what? It's interesting.
We got the first one. I don't know. Maybe I want to go fancy. I think maybe I want to go fancy here. Okay, move on. Do you want your book to have magic? So will it be like a historical fantasy romance, or do you want it to be traditional? I think like the best thing I could find was a ball gown to show just like traditional historical romance. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because she's angelic pop, it would make sense to be a bit magical, a bit witchy. But toxic heart means that, she would come from a humble beginning and then somehow chosen to, go into the palace for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes, Sarah, it is hard. I didn't think it would be this hard, and then I saw Patricia's
Because
face.
because pop makes sense that it is a bit magic, a bit yeah. But toxic heart, okay, let's go something. I'm a fantasy girl, but let's go for historical.
Just
So
traditional.
second, yeah.
Yes. I would want magic. I want a little bit of magic because I think I can't. Like, I want some. I want there to be like some special element in there. Always one with magic. Violet says the first two. Autumn says two, traditional. And Tara, I guess too. Are you sure? You're convinced? You want number two? You're like, I
I'm
guess.
convinced. I'm not convinced. I'm like Tara.
I know
Because
because historical romance can have so much scandal, like so many twists and turns. You don't necessarily need like a magical element, but it can be fun. Never know. I think that's the one I'm currently reading has some magic in it, like low magic, but it adds definitely a new element to this historical romance.
and I saw your vlog with against the magic, against the
Mhm.
magic, not against, and I completely agree with your review on it. By the way,
Thank you. That one was fun. It was fun to show the book crawl a little bit. I have to remember to actually record when I'm out in the world because I normally just like enjoying my time and I end up forgetting.
yeah.
I have to go traditional because I am kind bride. Okay, that makes sense. See, it's like related to your title. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, the second one is like, who do you want your best pal to be? Like a furry friend that's gonna be your best companion, or like that best friend that's like your go-to, dependable, like that one friend you have that you can really go for anything.
Okay. Since we're talking about toxic, I need a person.
You
I
need
need
a
a person
person.
to confide on because things are gonna get hard.
And
And
I thought
coming
you
from
would
a
pick like a furry friend because you're like, I don't need more people in my space. Like, I'm okay.
yeah,
No?
I read there's a vampire fantasy romance where she has a big dog, and I really love that bit where that's her companion, that's who she relies on. So that's but when it comes to but she's protecting herself, her life basically. But since we're talking about toxic, maybe someone to talk to would be nice.
Nice. I hope I didn't freeze. Mine's okay.
No,
Okay, perfect. Because I froze for a second. Okay. Okay, yes. I heard some of that. Did you end up going with furry friend?
no, second.
Okay, the second one in the okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause
think I need someone to talk to.
so,
Although I love furry friends.
I like this one, the one, but a dragon. Definitely fantasy. And that's a really big companion. I don't think anyone's gonna mess with you in that novel if you have a friend.
I'm jealous now. I also want a friend.
A furry friend. I know. Isn't this cat so cute? I just found it. I loved it. Ooh, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like Melody's out here thinking like way ahead and just doing everything, like all the fantasy. I love it. A Disney sidekick. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like Entangled, they have like a chameleon. Have you seen it? I love that.
No. Did I? I see so many with the kids, but I just, get my Kindle and just look at the
Be like,
screen
"Oh,
sometimes.
a talking cute, huge dog. Aw, like Clifford,
Oh,
a big red dog. That was like a cartoon I watched when I was young. He was like massive. He was like bigger than the buildings and the house and stuff. So a pretty big dog. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think for my character, I think she would do better having like a friend, like number two, like an actual friend. I think so. I don't know. I'd pick number two. Yes, love Tank. I know. I love that movie so much, and I'm not always like a huge like diehard Disney person, but that one was really cute. I like that one. And Cat, yes, the little animal companion. Wow,
yeah,
people really prefer the little animal companion than
yeah.
people.
But I think I'll be a grumpy, angelic pop, so I need my, comic relief on a second person.
That's a good point. Okay, and I think I'll do this last one before we get into sprint. But
Mm.
how will you meet your love interest in like a traditional setting, like a ball, or in a very unconventional, adventurous setting? So, like at a gambling table, or like you meet and save them in a forest, or like some fighting duel where you're disguised. So, where, like, which one? Like this two different types of fairy tale type of meetings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I had the magic, I would go for number two.
Yes.
But I'm hiding what I can do here. So I'm
Yes.
going for number one. I'm angelic, and I don't have a toxic heart so far. I'm not showing it, or he's not showing it. I don't know who. So we are just meeting in number one. We're still unconventional because I'm coming from humble backgrounds. So something
Yes,
happened.
that's true.
So
That's
something
true.
happened, which is also unconventional, and somehow, they're dancing and they're enjoying themselves and they are forgetting what's happening around them. People
Very
ogling.
romantic.
Very romantic.
I love it.
Very Disney princess.
Vibes, yes. Maybe a masked ball. I love it. I love when you guys end up adding like those details. Like that's the point of making your own story. So Tara wants a masked ball. Tangela, you're out here like just unconventional, whatever. It's just not traditional. I'm thinking live action Cinderella. You know, that's the only one I haven't been able to really see the live action of. And I heard it was really good. And that was like my favorite princess growing up because her dress was like 100% sparkly. Like I
Hmm.
wanted that. I wanted that dress. But yes, I'm thinking unconventional as well would be fun. But that's because I added fantasy to mine. So I was thinking like, oh, what if she ends up like saving his life or like something happens, where she's just that's how they meet. Or unless she's like after him, like trying to get him
Yeah.
and ends up saving his life.
Hmm.
I agree
I
with you.
want the big twist. I want the big twist at some point. So I'm starting it, slow, kind of normal.
Yes. No, I like it. I like this. This is so funny. Maybe we are there to steal something off someone. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Maybe an author will come up with a book after this. They'll have so many ideas.
This is how you know when you're talking to like a fantasy reader. It's like we casually drop things like this. Like we're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna off someone. No
Ooh.
big deal. That's our meet cute.
Yes.
Meeting the market during my regular escape from the palace. So maybe it's a different classes, maybe not. Maybe they're like a mystery bachelor back from war or something. You don't know. But that's a good one. All right. I'll see if there's any more answers coming in, but I have a second half of this, of course, because we have to go through your like obstacles and like what's the
Ooh.
twist and how do you want your story to end, and of course It's going to be a happily ever after. This is a romance book, but how? Like, what is your happily ever after? You also get to pick at the end of this little game. Love a stabby meet cute. Melody, we're going to be friends for sure.
Yeah.
That's such a good one. I should use that in my next video or something if that happens, like a stabby meet cute. No big deal. Just very, very demure stabby. Okay, so I think I'll put up the timer over here. Oh, let me see. We'll do, I think I normally do like 2 sprints. Let me find that file. Of course, the one time. Here it is. Let me pause this real quick. I see some more. I don't want to ignore some of here. Maybe like a masked duel, and she can stand on her own. Mm-hmm. Please make away with a list of stabby meet cutes. You know, we love, and I know Patricia's the same. We love a character who's like badass and
Mhm.
wants to kind of dominate a little bit. And like that's why I did join like Team Protector, because she's like, I'm gonna fight first. That's her slogan. My soul does the talking.
That's a great idea to come up with a list of
Yeah.
stabby dudes.
Yes, make sure you check out Patricia at My Romance Has No Limits on Instagram. They have a lot of reels. They put all their recs on there. Super aesthetically pleasing.
Trying.
She is wearing nice. Hey, I love this. Look at this. Melody's just like, this is what my character's wearing. This is what she looks like. Okay, make sure you write. I guess you're writing down your story. So at the end, I can ask all of you like what your character, what was her journey or their journey at the end of the day. I should be writing this down, but I'm just going with the flow on here. Okay. And I don't think some of you picked a name, so we might come back to that after the first sprint real quick in case you didn't pick your name.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll add this to stream. I'll mute myself and we can sprint.
Yeah. I see you then.
Okay. I tried stopping the timer before it got super crazy and loud. Let me
It
see.
got darker now.
Your book? Mine did
Yeah.
too.
So this is I don't think I explained. So this book starts as some kind of a dating app with a photo session. I don't totally understand the concept. That's how it starts. And he's interested on her because he thinks her father, has something to do with the murder of his brother. And he's a vampire, and she's supposed to be a vampire hunter.
Oh,
So she likes the hunters lure vampires naturally to them
okay.
when vampires, attract naturally humans to them.
Yeah.
So this kind of their enemy, natural enemy, these hunters.
Very enemies to
And
lovers. Mm.
yeah, and in the beginning it was like, oh, he's so hot, blah 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 blah. I was like, okay. Because I was watching, today I finally watched this call it chat you have with an American from Switzerland. You had this video on your channel.
Which one?
You had this chat with
Oh, yes, with
someone from,
Rachel. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I was watching while cooking, and you were talking about that you need to talk. I found it funny because you need to ask, are we really dating and stuff? Are we really into it? I was like, that's really European. We don't go into that type of conversation if
Yeah, well,
it
you
doesn't
said you're
happen.
originally from the Netherlands, right? Norway? You?
I'm from Portugal, but I live in Norway. Here,
Yeah.
it's more straightforward. So in
Yes.
Portugal, it's a bit more, you need to be more ladylike, and they need to,
Yes.
try to conquer you. But it doesn't. We don't take things too long. Here is more quick.
Yes. And that's what Rachel
You
was
go
saying
straight to the
about
point.
her partner who's from Switzerland, that there's no like talk. It's just, well, it's isn't it obvious, logical, you know?
Yeah, because and I was reading in this book, and it sounds like, okay, we like each other, and in my mind, in my culture, so if you are into each other, you like each other, I mean, you're not going straight to someone else, so it's kind of a, okay, you're doing something, you don't disturb it. But in here it's like, that's one of the reasons I don't read contemporary from the US. It's because the
Mhm.
culture is a bit different when it comes to starting to date someone. You don't actually start to date someone officially, but you start to. It's
Yeah.
you don't put into words. You just feel it. Everything's right.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yes, I wanted to say real quick because Julia said, "Oh, you guys play games." I wanted to join. We will continue the game, of course.
Mm,
I just want to hear what everyone's reading, and probably go back a little bit as we chat. So if you need to pick your name or something, you don't
yeah.
miss out on that too. But I see some people are like 33% through their book. Um, reading Marrying Winterbone. So Lisa Kleypas, right? Kleypas,
Clay pass.
seems like a really big author. So because I started again the magic with her, but she has like so many books, and I don't ever know if like these books are like the spin-off from the Wallflower or if it's she's
So
written there's
the one you read, you have then the brother
yes,
story.
I'm excited for that one. It's like something autumn into autumn. Beaches told me Marcus's
Yeah.
story is I think the third one.
So so
But I'm
that's
excited to read more of
so
her.
that's his romance, and in that book, you start to see Winterborn. And
Okay.
and
Okay.
Winterborn is a special why am I
So
he's a
it's the
he's a
STEM.
special self-made man. So he
Okay.
comes from the slums almost, and he makes himself one of the richest men in London. And
Okay.
he's a very special clay pass hero.
But is Winterborn still part of like that series
Yeah,
or okay,
yeah.
wow, it really is a big series
So
then. Okay.
it's another two books. So it's the brother next after again the magic, and then Winterborn.
Nice.
And
Okay.
the blue stockings, they shouted at me because I started with Winterborn. I didn't start
Yeah.
with again the magic.
They went back. Hello, Chloe. I'm gonna put up the slide with your name and like
Mhm.
show us this as we chat a little bit. If you're just coming in or if you haven't had the chance to, we're building a story and we'll continue the other half of the slides, but you can at least pick your romance novel name and your like your romance name and your romance title. Okay. So I'll leave this up here. But Julia said cultural differences are so interesting. Yes, we dove deep in that video that Patricia's mentioning, which is like what are the cultural differences or what have you noticed? Because her partner is from Switzerland, but she's like raised US American, and I'm raised US American Mexican as well. And my partner is Italian. So there's definitely like clash there. And then Patricia is Portuguese,
Yeah,
and then your partner is are they from
Portuguese.
actually?
No,
Oh,
yeah,
they're also Portuguese. You're just living in Norway. Okay,
yeah. But
so let's talk about
I'm from the I'm kind of from the what do you call it? As the hood as you can get in Portugal. You know,
okay.
I'm kind of that type of environment, and he's from a more small town, posh part
More like
of it.
sheltered.
Sheltered, yeah, more,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So that
Um,
but I am like with the book stuff I'm reading like I Am Legend, which like I said it's like a sci-fi thriller, and there it was that really big movie that Will Smith was in, you know, like in
mhm.
the early 2000s. But right now like the book is so different, and people who have read the book hate the movie so much because they're like they butchered the theme, everything. So I'm like, okay, let me try it. And it's really dark right now because he basically hasn't like there's no dialogue because he doesn't actually talk out loud. Like he's the only surviving person. There's all these like
Yeah,
vampire creature things around him, and he finally sees like a dog for the first time because in this
yeah,
world dogs can actually become vampires too, and they're not in the daylight. He finally sees this dog that's like in the daylight, and so he's like, oh my gosh, a living creature, I want this dog so much. And he's a little stir crazy, like you can definitely tell he's like nuts a little bit because I mean he's been isolated for
mhm.
months, and he's trying to chase the dog. So I'm at this part where like I don't know if the dog is also morphing into a vampire, and he's been working to get the dog's trust, you know, because the dog is like beaten up and like, you know, has been out in the wild, and he's like slowly feeding him. So he's getting closer and closer to him. And now there's this scene where it looks like either the dog is sick or he's like turning, and I'm so sad. So when you said your book is getting darker, I feel like so is mine because it's like his will to live is just hanging on finally being best friends with a living creature. It's just like so sad. So like
Because
reading this.
on the movie, they become really good friends, right?
Yes, in the movie he like always had this dog. You know,
Yeah.
like he just always had this companion. And then there's that iconic scene with the dog that I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but there's a
No,
really iconic
I've seen because
tragic scene.
always had a dog in my life, and for some
Yes.
reason, I never forgot that film. I never
Yes, because
forgot.
that was like really sad scene to watch. And so in this one, it's kind of the opposite. Like he's never had this dog with him, and now he
Mm.
sees it and has been like slowly getting it to trust him. And now I
Does
don't
he
know what's happening.
does he also has those? Uh, what do they have? You know those. He put some people, not people, but dolls in the
Mhm.
street. Does he do that in the book too?
No, 'cause in the book they function so differently, and they're people. Like in the movie, it's this movie. Yes, I remember this movie. I think it traumatized. It's definitely more of a thriller, and kind of like the starting of our like dystopian zombie vampire type of thing. But in the
Mm-hmm.
movie, they're like these weird creature-looking things. You know, if you remember, they're fast. They only come out at night and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, I think it's creepier because they talk like they're human.
Oh,
They only come out at night as well. They don't like sunlight. But some of them are like his neighbors that show up to his house every night, like constantly screaming from outside, like, come out, Neville, come out. Like, talk. And for me, that feels creepier because they're like
yeah,
smart beings, like they have this
yeah.
consciousness and they're trying to trick him and do all this stuff. So it's
Oh,
definitely more horror-esque in the book, and I checked again, it's only like 160 pages, but it reveals slowly what happened in a very unique storytelling way. It doesn't just tell you like, oh, it's been 8 months since the plague happened. No, like you have to piece it together as you
mm.
read. But yeah, that's what I'm reading, y'all. No
Okay,
cute
because
historical romance.
I remember there was a part where they found out that they could be smart. So it's nothing like that on the book then.
Yeah, it's like they're like conscious people and stuff,
Mm.
you know? Like it's also kind of weird because like some of the women on there like try to like seduce him from like outside because they know like he's been alone for a long time. So they're obviously smart, you know, like
Yeah,
thinking about these things, or they try to break in through the house or whatever. Which is just what makes it like creepier, is that they're like
yeah.
conscious of what they can do in this situation. But it's very sad. It's very lonely. He's very, very like alone. So I really hope this dog works out for him and isn't like some vampire dog in the end.
Mm.
That'd be so sad. Okay. I
It
think
traumatized you. Yeah, the
I know
dog
it did
part.
traumatize some people. I wonder how I'll feel about this book. And yeah, it's very sci-fi. If you
Yeah,
like thriller sci-fi.
tell me the end. When you get
Well, I
to
heard the
the end,
ending
give
is
me
like
a shout.
insane. I heard it's like such a plot twist or like a really big deal. So that's why people were mad at the movie. So I'm very curious like how this is gonna end.
Yeah, I'm curious
Yeah,
too.
we'll see.
Keep
Okay.
me posted.
I hope the reading was well. I didn't see anyone else really comment on their book. More like just going through all the things, or like marrying Winterbone. Seduce Me at Sunrise. Oh my gosh, there's so many books in this series. I'm
I
gonna have
didn't
to see.
yeah, I didn't continue that series at mine at midnight. Is that with Ram? Cam?
Hmm, I don't know.
There's so many.
There's so many. Perfect Life by Ultima Yum is my romance. Okay, awesome. So in this case, your title is Perfect Lies and your name is Ultima Yum.
Oh,
So like
that's
not your
nice.
author name, like your character name.
I'm sorry, but that's really cool. Your ultimate yum.
Perfect
You're the
Lies. Yeah.
ultimate yummy thing.
Ultima Yum. Okay, I'll continue with the slides though.
Mm.
That was just so fun. So I think we stopped here. So now that you know, you guys have like where your character came from, what type of like magic or no magic, your companion, how you met. Is your book gonna be super spicy or just purely sweet, like only sweet? Of course, you can have sweetness and spiciness, but in this case, I'm saying like just cute, wholesome, cozy, or with some spice in it too.
Okay, so since mine is toxic heart, it needs to be one. It needs to be spicy. There needs to be some hate spice, some rage spice, some I hate you spice.
So like
You know,
5 out of 5 chilies.
it needs to have all the all the ups and downs, and the spice. It's part of it. It goes with it.
I love it. That makes sense. So I started seeing like romance reviews on Instagram. I realized that romance people use like the chile, the chili, to
Hmm.
talk about how spicy it is, and they'll do like
Yeah.
5 kind of like 5 stars to say it's like max spicy. So that's why I put the chilies. Everyone here is a romance reader, so I don't think there's question about it, but just in case. Now for this sweet, I had no idea what else to pick other than just candy, you know?
Sweet.
Talk about
Yeah,
like
sweet.
pure sweetness, like no spicy.
YA. Yeah.
Very YA, yeah, or like closed door. I think it's a
Yeah.
different way if we want to do closed door. Let me see. One, it has to have some spicy scenes. So like, yes. So let us know how many chiles you want, how many chilies. I don't know. I think like some spice is fun. Like for me personally, I don't always like super graphic. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. So I don't know, but I think I like some heated scenes, in it. So I think mine would at least have like one chili. It's the forever bride. She has to be won over somehow.
Yeah.
Yes. So you
Yeah.
have those. No?
Yeah. The Hathaways. I didn't continue that. Yeah. That was the other series with Cam. Yeah, no, I know.
And I wonder, is that just completely separate, the Hathaways?
It's not completely separate because it has something to do with the wallflowers, but it's, if you continue on the books that you're reading, you're going to, I think it's just a few. Not the Hathaways, I think there are many because it's a big family. Where the wallflowers, there are not many wallflowers.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it
No,
was
I'm speaking out of no. It's 4 5. I don't know what I'm talking about.
it
I
was a
am
lot.
not an expert on
We'll
historical
see.
romance.
We'll see.
I'm just no, but only 5, so it's not that many.
Okay. We got one, gotta have some spice, 2 chilies. 2 chilies. I don't know how you say it in English. Like I'm always want to default to Spanish, like chiles,
Yeah, that's
like two
fine.
chiles. But yes, 2 chiles. I think that's good. I feel like some YA is still under like 3, even 3 chilies sometimes.
Yeah, Julia, you need a lot of spice. You're the ultimate yum. You need a
Yes.
lot of
Like
spice.
five spice, 5 spices. Is a side character from the Wallflowers is the hero in one of the Hathaways.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. Cam is one of the heroes of the Hathaways, and it's
what a
very
metaverse.
famous. Yeah, because it's on. Yeah, Devil in Winter.
Yeah, there's some
And
loose connection between stories. Yes.
you know what? I choose the type of heroes I want to read about.
Mhm.
So people kick me in the ass for that, but I, it's tough to read a lot when you're not that interested on the type of character or the type of,
Yes. Yeah.
So I do jump. Um, I do jump around, but the Wallflowers have 2 books that I love, which is Marrying Winterborn and Devil in Spring, and
Yeah,
those
I'll have to
are
see. Because that's what I said about again the magic, that I didn't love like Aileen and McKenna as much as Olivia and Gideon. If the story was
yeah,
more around them, I think I would have enjoyed it.
me too. So that's why Winterborn was much more interesting because he's a damaged hero, right? So
Mhm.
he has a lot of layers, while she also has a lot of layers to herself.
Mhm.
So it makes it a more interesting.
Yeah, like a multi-dimensional character.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
When and then
Maybe 4 chilies. Like ranking up the spice. We're going into new adult. Well, I don't know if there's is there like young adult historical romance?
I'm
Is that a
sure there
thing?
is.
I don't know. I've never. I feel like I assume historical romance comes with spice and like different variations of spice, but I
Oh,
don't know.
I'm sure there's the clean versions of in the
Mm,
historical
question.
romance.
Okay. I know these graphics are funny, but do you want your book to be like slow pace, like a slow burn? That's why I have the sheep like slowly jumping one by one over the time. Or do you want to be like fast paced? You know, like their love burns super fast and it's just happening right away. Do you have a preference?
I like things to take a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't tend to go for the fantasies that are fast paced. They're fantastic because they keep you entertained a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I always been a more character driven, so that by normal takes some time.
Yes. I think I like
So
that too. Like I love plot driven, but my if my characters aren't complex enough, like or
mm,
they just jump from one thought to the other, I'm like, this has no sense. You know, like journey with me. Don't just say like, oh, they're suddenly fine
yeah,
or anything like that. So I think
and
I would want my character to have some slow burn in there and like
yeah,
grow, you know?
and toxic heart, you need that. I think on my book, you need the toxicity needs to get to a point where you can't handle anymore, and then everything.
A fast-paced book. Yes. So I definitely like a fast-paced book. I just like my characters. I'm like demanding so much from authors. I'm like fast-paced, but also let me journey with the character. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I think that's why a lot of people liked Fourth Wing because you have a lot of going on at the same time, but your characters, they don't, they take their time
Yes.
to get there.
Yeah,
They
because
take
she's
the
training.
time.
Like she never
Yeah,
expected to do this. She fails
yeah,
a lot. Yeah.
yeah, and Tog in oh
I feel
Sarah J.
just.
Maas, yeah, Sarah J. Maas's YA.
Mhm.
There's also that combination of fast-paced action, but she takes a long time to reach
Mhm.
to that maturity.
Yes. So I agree with Jesslyn here. I can't do a lot of slow burn. And I think Violet said it well. Fast paced story, but slow relationship building. I like that, you
Hmm.
know, because it's like you want your characters, unless you just want it to be like insta love or something, it can feel rushed when people just hurry up, especially if you're doing something like enemies to lovers or something like
Yeah,
that. Like you want,
it's so strange because here, tell me
wow.
if I'm wrong, but here in Europe, we are so insta love for our own lives. It's like, I like you. Okay, you're the one.
You're like, I pick you.
We're, yeah, we're so insta love, but we don't like to read insta love.
Oh, we have some comments about where we were reading. Enjoyed the wallflowers. Yes, I think the wallflowers is the main one. Like I've heard about.
Yeah, I
And I'm
completely agree with
surprised.
you, Melody. The I didn't continue the Hathaways, and I really enjoyed the Wallflowers. And again, the Magic was my least favorite.
Oh, the prequel.
Yeah,
And then Newer Ravenels. Wow, I can't believe she's continuing. That's crazy.
yeah, the Ravenels.
Let me see.
Uh,
Okay, here's a good one. So besides your obvious obstacle, I'm gonna throw in like a little telenovela moment.
mm,
So, an extra obstacle in your novel. Do you have an evil twin that comes out of nowhere or a very intense love rival that just tries to sabotage your relationship? What are you going to go for? I'm sorry to this picture. I couldn't find like another picture of like an evil twin. They're so cute and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, evil twin."
uh, I hate the X because we've read it so many times in romance
Mhm.
that and we want to empower women, so we don't want to go for the bitter X. We don't want the X to be bitter. Otherwise, you know,
Does it have to be the ex? Can't it just be some love rival? like someone else has an eye on your partner for like whatever reason, political reason, because they just hate you. Like, you don't know. It's your story.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So, humbling background,
We got
Angelica
you.
Pop, and it's a toxic heart, and there's someone, yeah, so I don't have the right background. And okay, I'm going with your story. So, I don't have the right background. I'm not part of the ton because I didn't went with the magic. All right. So, I need blue blood somehow.
Okay,
And
like
there's a blue blood lady, which she's the right one for him, top, but I'm the one he loves. So okay, I'll go with the two because the
too.
twin one is difficult to.
Yes, we got an evil twin. I think, oh, I don't know. I guess so frustrating when I read like some other love rival coming in. I get so upset for our protagonist. I'm like, get away. Like they deserve to be together. So I don't know. But this is fun. Maybe evil twin if I can beat her butt or if I convince her to stop being so stupid. Oh my gosh, that would be so sad. Like ultimate betrayal. You find out you have a twin and then they're like an evil twin.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I think I might go that route if like my book is more adventurous, like fantasy, maybe.
yeah.
I don't know.
Or if you pick the the furry friend, then you would need some kind of an evil twin to be your, I don't know, evil, but not that evil, but makes things a bit more interesting in terms
Yeah,
of
I straight
these
up put evil
relationships.
twin. They're evil. They're up to no good. My title is Perfect Lies. That is, you can go either route for sure, but it's just always laughed in like soap operas or telenovelas where it would just be like
Mm,
the amnesia trope for sure, like the evil sister, like out of nowhere twin, fake
I
death,
yeah,
like
I grew up with the Brazilian soap operas,
okay.
so
The drama is high, so I thought it would be funny. Like let's throw in something like that at our characters. Everyone's least favorite third acts. I had to add this in here. So you're either gonna have a third act like breakup, so you guys distance, or a miscommunication. Oh, I know. I was like, I have to pick the least favorite ones so that you have to work that into your book somehow and what your character is gonna go through.
okay. So I think I've picked um, miscommunication. It's it's hard to stomach it. Sometimes you don't have patience for books that have miscommunication bit.
It can be done well, but it's
It
usually
can
not.
be done well, and I agree. I agree. And I just read one that was done well. There was reasons for the miscommunication. But since we're talking about, toxicity and humble background and the third person that she's the right one because she has noble blood and I don't. And there's toxicity. So
That
I'm
makes sense.
tired of these toxic relationships. There's too many
Aw.
people, too many stuff. And there is, of course, oh, I forgot now the name. It's a man's world, and we're not here to take it anymore.
So we're leaving.
Patriarchy needs to learn the lesson, and I'm gone. He needs to grovel. I love
Okay,
a
so
grovel. I
third
love a
act.
grovel one. Yeah,
We
the
got
third.
okay, so we got third act breakup here because I can stomach it. Sometimes it's just like a third act breakup can also discourage me a little bit, like, oh, all that work and I was just gone. So I feel
Yeah.
like I'd like to go with a miscommunication just because I think that can make it interesting. Like, oh, like, you know, there's this secret and you didn't know and you left, or like it can drive the characters apart into danger. Like, there's a lot you can do with
Yeah.
miscommunication. So I don't know. I might do that for my Forever Bride story. I think miscommunication makes sense. The broken heart, yes, the breaking up. I know sometimes I'm like, how do you get them back together after working so hard to bring them together in the first place? You know?
Yeah,
Like,
I just read a book where it was one of the worst types of returning back together, because it was like, what, the last few sentences of the book, they kind of come back, and you're like, okay, all of this, was heated, it was spicy at some point, and she hidden some information from him. She had the reasons to, she was a protector of the family, so she had all the good reasons to do that.
oh,
And it was like, last page, they came back together because she proved him that he can trust her.
yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah. The evil twin. Oh, it's gonna be like they break up with the evil twin, or the evil twin is like breaking you guys up. Because it could be. I went with a third act breakup, but it was because the evil twin broke his heart. Once they figure that out, they make up. So, like, it's okay. So you and the love interest make up, right? Not like them and the twin.
Or it's a poly.
Oh, wait, I see. I think the evil twin pretends to be the character, of course, then breaks his heart, and then they realize, like, oh, it wasn't you, it was, your evil twin. I like that. That's
Yeah,
good.
me
That evil
too.
twin really hates their sibling. I hate communication so one for third act breakup. Everyone's like just third act breakup. Okay. I can handle miscommunication over breaking up. How can they break up and then get back together? Hey, that's our point, I think, is what we're saying, right, Patricia? Because you liked the miscommunication instead.
I went for the breakup.
Breakup because
I went for the
you're just
breakup.
tired.
I just read one that the breakup was done horribly. It's just that, it's a bit of a taste like, because some of the books I've been reading has a lot of miscommunication.
Okay.
That's a trope used a lot in historicals.
Okay.
So
They said they changed their mind. Miscommunication for perfect lies.
makes total sense.
I think I get frustrated over like breakups more. I need to read a good third act breakup one, but I just haven't found one that I like.
I think the best ones are the ones that they don't put too much emphasis on. It's like the third act breakup comes, and you immediately start to see a solution for it, and then you have either grovel, either handling the situation, and then you end up in a good position in the romance.
Yeah.
So those can happen very nicely, and you're not like, third act
I know. I
breakup,
haven't
I'm so
seen it
tired.
yet though.
So
One of
it
the
takes,
malls.
yeah.
She loses him in a forest and then doesn't recognize her. It breaks her heart. No. Miscommunication is hard, but some breakups can be even worse than hard. This is what I'm saying. Kind of like what you were saying, like you break up and you're like, why are you back together? Like, or I hate when characters do something so vile and still they come back. I'm like, no, you've crossed the line. You're done.
Yeah,
Get out.
yeah.
And
I
like
think
leaving for
that's
the
why
partners.
I didn't like that much with the book you read, Again the Magic. I didn't saw their good back together as some. It didn't
Yeah, that
work
one
out.
took a while. I was kind of like, I feel like your reason for being away is kind of dumb at this point.
Mm.
So I was like, just get together.
But the second
Uh,
romance, her sister and the American, that was
I
so
can't wait
good.
because I love them. Look at this. I like leaving for the partner's own good. Yes, except we all hated it when it happened in Twilight. But yes, leaving the partner for the partner's own good, then coming back because you can't live without them. for sure. But then it's all sad and tragic. Like, why'd you have to do that? Why couldn't, you know? And I feel like, you know, fantasy readers, we just love the angst, you know, we just love the pining. One reason I love fantasy romance is because the third act breakup doesn't exist. Or it's situational. There's some bad guy or force that they have to overcome together. Yes, which is what we're kind of seeing in Fourth Wing. I don't know if you've read the summary for Iron Flame.
No, I haven't. I'm
Yes.
going
Well,
in blind.
she's being like, Violet is basically being pinned on like, you have to betray the man you love or like get with the program. So that's an obstacle. Like they have to face together and see if they're going to stay together after all the lies and the miscommunication. They kind of had a third act breakup for like a few pages, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and there are some third act breakups that we can't really live with. For example, on I don't know if you like or read Blood and Ash.
No, I've heard so much about it. Like I've heard about it, but I haven't read it.
So the there's this third act breakup, which is not really a breakup because it's such a slow burn. They're not really, together, and it makes sense. And
Okay.
a lot of in fantasy romance, the plot is so strong that you don't feel that third act breakup as the only
Maybe
reason.
that's what's it. I'm gonna have to look back at some books maybe and be like, did I see one? I
Because
guess
we
Serpent and
like the
Dove kind
plot.
of had
Yeah.
one.
No, but we like the plot to be the one that is separating
Yes.
both. Yeah.
Like star-crossed lovers,
Yeah.
type of thing. Yes, them against the world. Okay. Deep discussion on this one because I knew like a lot of people were like, oh, why? I hate these, but it's always fun. Okay. So now that you went through your third act breakup or miscommunication, does your partner find out and hurry up and they are the ones that try to find you? Or do you take charge and you go find them and figure out like what happened? That's why I had the crown. It's like you're gonna reign the show, or you want your partner to come like hunt you down.
So
Kind of
I
like
should.
damsel in distress or
Yeah.
toxic heart. Do you need them to come and apologize to you?
No, it's I would love to go for two and take control of everything, but I am, it's been toxic and there's a need for a grovel.
For a
So
girl.
I need around 100 pages of grovel in order to take him back.
Like a whole chapter.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like, let me see. Gotta explain that my evil twin was the one that broke his heart. See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you have to go to them. You have to rescue them. I know. I kind of like what you were saying, that like let them come and grovel, like win you over a bit. But I feel like because I want mine to be kind of action packed or whatever, and I have like the adventure going on, I think I want my character to take charge and try to like rescue them. I think I like that a lot also in Once Upon a Broken Heart, where Evangeline is really kind, but when she sees something's going on, she does rush. Like when she figures out things, she rushes to go help. And I just love when they like end up helping each other. But I love seeing a character that tries to rescue the day and then more stuff happens.
On fantasy romance, a book that has left me obsessed more than any other this year has been the latest one from Jay Bree. It's called Crown of Curses and Oaths. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Jay Bree, Curses and Oaths. Maybe.
Yeah, it had. You need to read the first two novellas before going into the actual first book. And I was not a big fan of the two novellas, but I was intrigued enough to continue. And a friend on Bookstagram was making a lot of noise about it, so I just went, and I became obsessed. She takes the control of everything. it's the most badass witch I've read.
I think I
I
need
mean,
to try a J. Brie because I've heard so much like that author thrown around in like romantasy
yeah,
boxes and stuff. I
I
haven't
haven't
tried
I haven't read her reverse harem. Um, I'm not that into reverse harems, and there's so much to choose, but everyone says they are fantastic. But this one is actually a fantasy romance with fated mates,
that. Ooh, I
and
love
he
Fated
doesn't
Mates.
he doesn't get it easy. So these two,
Ooh,
they need to, the stars need to align for these two to be together.
I love that.
But she's too. She takes control of everything.
I'm
Is
gonna have to
Yeah,
look that one up because that sounds really good.
it's amazing, that book, and
I figure out.
can't wait for the second.
Oh, it's still ongoing? Oh my gosh, I can torture myself with another novel that isn't completed. I might
Yeah,
wait.
no, I'm torturing myself because I think it's only coming out next
Oh
year.
my gosh, no. I might wait. I'm already feeling like this with like some of the books like Divine Rivals and This Vicious Grace and now like Iron Flame. I'm like, I can't do this right now. I figure out what happens after I see him with his past lover and accidentally kiss thing. I think, oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay, so you're taking charge, but oh my gosh. Wait, where's this one? Sorry, my thing is lagging a little bit. Okay, there we go. Um, yes, that sounds like a miscommunication. So you're trying to find him, I think, right? I'm understanding that comment correctly.
Hmm.
If there's an accidental kiss thing. I'm still laughing at I think Autumn had the stolen hug title. For a second, I thought this title was also the stolen hug romance title.
Oh yeah, but
Okay, we got a
no,
lot of take charge. Gotta go to.
strong
I like
women.
the partner to hunt me down. I need the grovel. I do die
Yes,
a little bit inside when the partner, like, if
yes,
it's in a good position, it can be really nice, like empowering. The touch her and I'll kill you trope, you know?
yeah. But when they have to prove, oh, it's
Go looking and then yell for there's too many once you know the cause of the breakup. Violet's not playing games. I don't remember your character's name, but they're not here to play games. They're here to call out their partner. I love it. You're with Melody, which is the take charge and got to explain why the evil twin. And hopefully the partner believes them, you know? Oh, is it Lilac by Jabri? Or is that the
other.
reverse harem? Harem. Harem. I need to try
Yeah,
a
I'll
novel
just
like that because the webtoon was really good. It's Lilac. Lilac.
I'll just post the correct name
We will look it up.
because I have now this all nice and set. So it's called The Crown of Oath and Curses, and there's two novellas before it that you must read. So it sets the book, it sets the
I need to type
series.
this.
And the first one, it's called The Septa, which is her story. And the second one, it's The Sword, which is his story. He's a Fey prince, and she's a witch.
Oh wow.
So she's, the type of witch that is connected to nature, likes to walk without shoes. She hates shoes. Knows the herbs, the flowers, all those medicines, and she basically does it like the old days. And she knows how to maintain, the earth in good state for um, to generate produce and all that. And the Fae are becoming a bit, getting away from the old days.
Mm. Okay,
And
okay. I see. It kind of reminds me of like Shadow and Bone because the Grisha still use like magic, but slowly the armies are getting more like tech advanced and kind of like moving away. I like when worlds kind of collide in a way that makes
yeah,
sense. It's not like too
and
far advanced.
yeah, and here there's there's not the psychological consequence of hurting someone with a lot of power and then creating that wall, right? But here is the consequence. If you stop nurturing the land, you killed it. You start to kill it.
Yes. I've been
So
enjoying these books.
this
It's really
magic is one of those that if you don't do certain things with magic, then the world starts to end, blah blah blah. And there's other things as well, in this world, like the fates. If you go against your fate, you
yeah.
create this hole in the sky and big monsters start to come out.
Ooh, that sounds cool. Sounds
So it's
multi-dimensional.
like yeah, that's why there's forced proximity. That's as
Ooh,
much
I
I'll
love
go.
that. Okay, this sounds like I'm just gonna love everything, but I need to wait because this is like killing me.
No,
Same. I'm
no,
with Melody. That sounds so good, and I
you
just need a
see, I'm
moment.
on Instagram. I'm not on YouTube. So sometimes, I need to take this opportunities to add to your TBR because I'm not here many times on YouTube. So,
Okay, I think we have one more slide,
mhm.
and it's of course your happily ever after, y'all. So, are you gonna have a traditional one where like, okay, you defeated the odds, you found each other? Are you gonna like have a marriage as the happily ever after, like a wedding, or do you have to leave and kind of take on a new identity and run away with your person? You know. So, what is your happily ever after? And then if you remember the title of your book, drop it in the comments, drop it in the chat because I feel like I just want to see what your title was and what your ending or what they went through. I would love to hear your story that you built.
All right. If I went for magic, I would be a witch and I had to take him to the woods. But mine is toxic heart, and for some reason I was able to conquer him and everyone
Mhm.
and become the new princess, queen, duchess, whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm going for the marriage,
The marriage.
even though even I am not married. So
You're like, but my character is. It's
my
okay.
character is so.
We have number one, marriage. I think Jesslyn had like a evil twin thing going on too. I don't remember. But we have a marriage. I'll leave the traitor and choose another guy who deserves me. So, so plot twist. We have like a love triangle that came through. Okay, then we have.
Yeah, just
Okay,
drop
yes,
it.
yours is Toxic Heart. Valissa Vaughn, my special friend. Let me see. We have Pure Smile. Number two, going on another adventure together. I like that because, yeah, you could go on another adventure, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know what I would pick for mine. I feel like if my character was like picked to like assassin the character or something, maybe they like take on a new identity and run off because she ended up like falling in love with him and like can't, not kill him, so they have to run off together, I think. Yes, I picked the evil twin. When the wedding, yes, a traditional happily ever after. I think those are fun. Whenever I read like now the historical romances, but even on like film, I just like seeing the grandness of like a really fancy ballroom from back in the day, like the gowns and everything.
Mhm.
That looks crazy. Like people back then that had that type of money, insane.
They
I
were
think
all in
too.
debt.
Because the evil twin is coming after us now. Perfect Lies was, you know what? That would be an amazing ending, Julia. Perfect Lies. You perfectly escaped with your new identity. You guys now have the perfect lie to be together. Happily ever after. I love it. We're all just making our own novels out here.
Yeah, and I'm remembering books that had that.
Like running off together.
Yeah, that was it the Master from Cressley Cole where no, it was a novella, a mafia one, They run off
That
together.
makes sense. It's like mafia.
And
Like, how else would they get
yeah,
out?
they run off together. And he's able to, because he's so awesome, he's able to keep them, you know, very rich, but hidden from.
That's nice. It's like sounds like a Batman situation type of thing. I actually liked the story of Miriam and Draken in ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas, um, because they literally had to also kind of like run off and make their own kingdom together that was hidden from everyone, and like everyone thought they died or whatever. So
Hmm.
theirs was interesting, and it's also like number two, like run off together and have a whole new identity in life. But I
Yeah.
don't think I've read like a book where that is the ending. Like they have to assume new identities. Unless you count like the last thing he told me, but that's not really a romance, that's just a thriller. I don't even remember my title. I think it was Forever Bride. Again, so this is your romance novel name, so like your actual name. And then this is the name of your book, if anyone wanted to see it. Yes. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'll leave this up here in case, I saw people coming in and out. But I hope this was fun to like build and pick. I tried really hard thinking like, okay, we need to build like a whole novel. I need to come up with options as you build and keep it, of course, romance themed because this is a romance readathon after all.
It was fun.
Thank you.
I'm bitter. I wish I had magic, because that's what I
Oh,
really
you went back. You're like, I'm choosing magic.
no, it's good. I'm good because it's toxic heart. So I should have had some mafia things in between here, but
I can't imagine
um,
like mafia fantasy.
there
Like
is some, but I
I bet
haven't
them.
read it. There is some. There is one with somehow some magic
Thanks,
in it.
Melody. I always have fun like making these games and just like so people can participate and chat more and stuff. I'm just
Yeah,
like sitting on the couch like what can I do for the stream? Trying to think
it
of
was,
like what can I make?
but it was fun, and we read so many romances, so much fiction that imagination isn't something that we have plenty of when it comes to plot.
Yes. Or like my last game where I'm like you have to choose between your
Hmm.
favorite tropes out here and like what
Yeah,
would you want to live? Oh, my name is Jacqueline Jack.
but
Jacqueline
that's
Jacques.
nice.
And my book title is called Forever Chocolate Box.
Oh wow, that's
That's cute
spicy.
though. It sounds very like fairy tale. Like name
Hmm.
Jacqueline Jack and your like name is Forever Chocolate Box. Very YA. You're welcome. I've loved making these for you. Also a good break from like reading, and let's just continue fantasy and escaping from reality by making our own book instead, but break. So Celeste Ample, Stolen Kiss.
Oh,
I think Ample is a very fun last name. It's definitely new adult name or something. Yes, I'm glad you guys liked it. I know it's like kind of running late for us. It's like nearly 10 on
yeah.
our time. So I don't know if you're feeling like at least one more sprint before we say bye, or do we want to like end it here and enjoy the rest of our Saturday?
I think that I have to check if the kids are actually sleeping.
Here we
So I don't know
go.
if you're going to continue with another 30 minutes. They probably are.
Yeah, if we do like another 30 minutes, you could easily, get up and check in on them and then,
Yeah,
come back. But we can do
I
one
can
more
do that. Yeah, I can do that.
if you are feeling that. Um, just because I don't know. I think like 2 sprints are usually like,
The norm. Yeah.
yeah, at least. It's just we get so caught up in the choices of
Yeah,
these
it was
games.
so fun.
Okay, hopefully I figure out what happens with this dog at the end of this sprint because I'm really sad and I want to know what happens.
I want to know too.
Okay. Go spoiler free. Okay, I'll start the timer.
All right.
Oops. Okay. Hi. Okay. Here we go.
How's
How's
it going?
it was rough. I was gonna ask all of you how your reading's going, but mine was freaking rough. I was reading through all. Hold on, give me one second. I think I hear a second. Let me like mute something real quick. But you can go ahead.
No, my book is becoming darker and darker. She's she's getting she's starting to so there's this ex, and she's been struggling with the death of a family member, and she is believing that she is the problem. So
No.
there's some triggers. This book has some triggers. So
Yeah, you said it was getting darker.
he's getting darker because
Yeah.
she knows now he's the vampire. So
Yeah.
he's not the nice guy now.
Oh, impossible love.
What you
Oh
were
my god.
saying?
Yeah. um no, it got so sad. The way it's written is so good. Like I can't say things without spoiling it, but
Mm,
that last bit of that chapter about that dog like got a full-on reaction. I think I'm gonna replay some of this because I think I like react so obviously on my face of just
oh,
how
I didn't saw it.
tragic and rough this is. So, and then it did a time jump. So now we're like 2 years ahead. So at first it was like January, like 1976 or whatever. And then it was like March 1976. And now we're in like 1978. So
Mm,
that was like a crazy jump. So I don't know. Like I'm reading like what he's doing now and like what's going on and everything. But yeah, we'll see how this ends. It's just like it's very short, but it's so good that I'm like enjoying like taking it slow on purpose. My team is probably like, read the books, like hurry up. But I'm just taking my time with it for sure.
yeah. No, I. You need to spoil me on DMs because I want to know.
I can DM you, yeah, what
Yeah.
happened with this. That line like killed me. That line
Oh.
was so rough. I'll message you about it. But I hope everyone else had fun. I think we have like some people that might still be reading or that are in and out. But I had fun making that game for y'all and
It
playing
was so
it and
fun.
discussing in depth about all these different paths our characters could take. I don't know if I'll be hosting another one for this month. And then let me pull up the calendar real quick because there might be more. Um, so yeah, so it looks like next week, it looks like Crystal is going to host one, and it looks like you're
Yeah.
going to do that one, right, Patricia?
Yeah. It's at my time, and I think I'm able to join. I'm just writing the book since I'm asked.
Oh, and they asked what book are you reading?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is coming in kind of late. You're going to type the title?
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to join the sprints that I'm able to from my time zone.
Okay.
Just to, just as force myself to do something different, and also to chat with YouTubers. And for example,
Yeah.
Crystal, I've been watching her for years,
Oh,
so that would be,
special for sure.
yeah,
I might see if I can join that one because
that
if
would be
it's a like
nice.
11 a.m. Mountain Time for sure.
Yeah,
So there'll be one. So far, one is scheduled for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we have Crystal, April, and Tiffany's channel. And make sure you guys check out the Discord and of course their channels for the links to follow that. So there will definitely be more sprints. But yeah, y'all, we're in the last like week and a half of the challenge of this readathon. So keep up with the mail, the stories, the polls, all of that. And we'll see who ends up with who at the end of this readathon. Yes. But thanks
yeah.
for
I'm just
joining. Thanks for joined. these sprints with me, and Patricia again for
And
co-hosting.
thank you for the games. It was so fun.
Mhm. Oh, and this is an arc. The one that Patricia's talking about is an arc.
Which is about to be released.
Nice.
So.
I know. I feel like I'm so behind. I'm like, I need to read all these other things. Yes, thank you for joining. Melody, I had so much fun hearing your thoughts over on the chat and your story. It's always nice speaking to other fantasy lovers in this readathon, which is what's so fun, is that you can read anything.
Yeah.
15 things. You're welcome. And it was so fun. I felt like I need to stop reading throughout my book because it's just so like, you know, and like anticipating. It's a thriller. So I'm like, okay, I'm reading during the sprint, but I'm also like, I need a break during this when it gets anxious. But yes. Okay, y'all, we'll see you over on Discord and we'll chat again with you next week.
Yep.
Thanks,
And
Patricia.
good luck to everyone.
On